History of the Metaverse. The Metaverse is still emerging, but the concept of a 3D immersive internet where people can socialize, play, shop, work, dates back decades. In 1938, French poet, playwright, actor and director Antoine-Marie Joseph Paul Artaud, better known as Antonin Artaud, working in Paris, published Le Théâtre et son double, The Theatre and Its Double. Artaud described theatre as la réalité virtuelle, a virtual reality, in which characters, objects, and images take on the phantasmagoric force of alchemy's visionary internal dramas. Arnold's description may be the first use of the phrase, virtual reality. Phantasmagorical describes something with a dreamlike, fantastical, unreal, deceptive, or shifting appearance, like an optical illusion. It was in 1961 that Morten Leonard Heilig, a philosopher and documentary filmmaker, developed his idea of movies of the future. He applied his cinematographer experience and with the help of his partner, he developed the Sensorama over several years from 1957, patenting it in 1962. For total immersion, Sensorama could display stereoscopic 3D, a method of giving an illusion of depth to an image or a video, and allowed to watch among 5 films, while cutting off the user's external stimuli. Physically similar to an arcade game terminal, the spectator could, after inserting a piece, choose from 5 experiences. A motorcycle ride through the streets of Brooklyn. A bicycle route. Buggy, light-duty all-terrain vehicle with 2 seats, in the dunes of a desert. A helicopter flight. Exchanging a few steps with a belly dancer. In 1982, Thomas G. Zimmerman of Redwood City, California, filed a patent on an optical flex sensor mounted in a glove to measure finger bending. Continuing this research, Zimmerman worked with Jaron Lanier to incorporate ultrasonic and magnetic hand position tracking technology to create the Power Glove and the Data Glove, respectively. The optical flex sensor used in the Data Glove was invented by young L. Harville, who scratched the fiber near the finger joint to make it locally sensitive to bending. The Data Glove is considered one of the first commercially available wired gloves. The first wired glove available to home users in 1989 was the Nintendo Power Glove, designed as a gaming glove for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It had a crude tracker and finger bend sensors, plus buttons on the back. The sensors in the Power Glove were also used by hobbyists to create their own data gloves. Both the Data Glove and the Power Glove were based on Zimmerman's original instrumented glove or wired glove. Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist, invented the World Wide Web (WWW) in 1989, while working at CERN. The web was originally conceived and developed to meet the demand for automated information sharing between scientists in universities and institutes around the world. On 30 April 1993, CERN put the World Wide Web software in the public domain. Later, CERN made a release available with an open license, a more sure way to maximize its dissemination. These actions allowed the web to flourish. The first website at CERN, and in the world, was dedicated to the World Wide Web project itself and was hosted on Berners-Lee's NeXT computer. CERN is derived from the acronym for the French, Conseil européen pour la recherche nucléaire, or European Council for Nuclear Research. Way back in 1992, author Neal Stephenson published his breakthrough novel, Snow Crash, a cyberpunk exploration of then-futuristic technologies, mobile computing, virtual reality, wireless internet, digital currency, smartphones, and augmented reality headsets. 25 years later, Stephenson's cult classic has become canon in Silicon Valley, where a host of engineers, entrepreneurs, futurists, and assorted computer geeks, including Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, still revere Snow Crash as a remarkably prescient vision of today's tech landscape. Among the more prophetic inventions in the book is something Stephenson called the Metaverse, the same sort of wireless, online virtual reality experience that Facebook, Google, Samsung, and practically every other major tech company are now competing to commercialize. Science fiction author Neal Stephenson predicted cryptocurrencies and virtual worlds, even coining the term metaverse, in his 1992 novel Snow Crash. Now, 30 years later, he is combining the two ideas by launching a blockchain-powered open metaverse. Proof of work, POW, is a form of cryptographic proof in which one party, the prover, proves to others, the verifiers, that a certain amount of a specific computational effort has been expended. Verifiers can subsequently confirm this expenditure with minimal effort on their part. The concept was invented by Moni Nair and Cynthia Dwork in 1993 as a way to deter denial of service attacks and other service abuses such as spam on a network by requiring some work from a service requester, usually meaning processing time by a computer. The two variants of proof of work, POW, are challenge response, solution verification. The virtual world can be accessed freely via Linden Labs' own client software or via alternative third-party viewers. Second Life users, also called residents, create virtual representations of themselves, called avatars, and are able to interact with places, objects and other avatars. They can explore the world, known as the grid, meet other residents, socialize, participate in both individual and group activities, build, create, shop, and trade virtual property and services with one another. The platform principally features 3D-based user-generated content. Second Life also has its own virtual currency, the Linden Dollar, $, which is exchangeable with real-world currency. Roblox is an online game platform and game creation system developed by Roblox Corporation that allows users to program games and play games created by other users. Created by David Baszucki and Eric Castle in 2004 and released in 2006, the platform hosts user-created games of multiple genres coded in the programming language Lua. For most of Roblox's history, it was relatively small, both as a platform and as a company. Roblox began to grow rapidly in the second half of the 2010s, and this growth has been accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The launch of Google Maps was first announced on the Google blog on February 8, 2005. In September 2005, in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, Google Maps quickly updated its satellite imagery of New Orleans to allow users to view the extent of the flooding in various parts of that city. On November 28, 2007, Google Maps for Mobile 2.0 was released. It featured a beta version of a My Location feature, which uses the GPS, assisted GPS location of the mobile device, if available, supplemented by determining the nearest wireless networks and cell sites. The software looks up the location of the cell site using a database of known wireless networks and sites. By triangulating the different signal strengths from cell transmitters and then using their location property, retrieved from the database, My Location determines the user's current location. Satoshi Nakamoto is the name used by the presumed pseudonymous person or persons who developed Bitcoin, authored the Bitcoin white paper, and created and deployed Bitcoin's original reference implementation. As part of the implementation, Nakamoto also devised the first blockchain database. Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, mined the first Bitcoin block on 3 January 2009 and started the P2P digital cash system. On 9 January 2009, Nakamoto released version 0.1 of the Bitcoin software on SourceForge, and launched the network by defining the genesis block of Bitcoin, block number 0, which had a reward of 50 Bitcoins. Embedded in the Coinbase transaction of this block is the text, "The Times 3 January 2009 Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks," citing a headline in the UK newspaper The Times published on that date. This note has been interpreted as both a timestamp and a derisive comment on the alleged instability caused by fractional reserve banking. The gacha game model began to be widely used in the early 2010s, particularly in Japan. Most of the highest-grossing mobile games in Japan use it, and it has become an integral part of Japanese mobile game culture. The game mechanism is also increasingly used in Chinese and Korean games, as well as Western games. Despite their ubiquity, gacha games have been criticized for being addictive, and are often compared to gambling due to the incentive to spend real-world money on chance-based rewards. In video games, a loot box, also called a loot crate or prize crate, is a consumable virtual item which can be redeemed to receive a randomized selection of further virtual items, or loot. Ranging from simple customization options for a player's avatar or character to game-changing equipment such as weapons and armor. A loot box is typically a form of monetization, with players either buying the boxes directly or receiving the boxes during play and later buying keys with which to redeem them. These systems may also be known as gacha, based on gashapon, capsule toys, and integrated into gacha games. A novel by Ernest Cline titled Ready Player One depicts the world in 2045 in which it is being gripped by global warming and an energy crisis. This results in social problems and economic stagnation. The only escape, in the novel, is a metaverse called the Oasis, which can be accessed with a VR headset and wired gloves. Metaverse functions as a virtual society where people are able to play multiplayer online role-playing games massively. Ready Player One is a 2018 American science fiction adventure film based on Ernest Cline's novel of the same name directed by Steven Spielberg. Yoni Assia, the CEO of eToro, an Israeli social trading and multi-asset investment company, was the first to suggest colored coins in an article published on March 27, 2012. In the article titled Bitcoin 2.x, also known as colored Bitcoin, Assia claimed that the initial specifications that Bitcoins transmitted using the Genesis transaction protocol are recognizable, distinctive, and trackable on the ledger. Colored Coins is an open-source protocol built on the Bitcoin 2.0 that allows users to represent and manipulate immutable digital resources on top of Bitcoin transactions. They are a class of methods for representing and maintaining real-world assets on the Bitcoin blockchain, which may be used to establish asset ownership. Colored coins are bitcoins with a mark on them that specifies what they may be used for. Colored coins are also considered the initial step toward NFTs built on top of the Bitcoin network. Palmer Luckey developed a series of prototypes exploring features like 3D stereoscopy, wireless, and extreme 270-degree field of view, while also decreasing the size and weight of his systems. He shared regular updates on his progress on MTBS 3D, a forum frequented by a small number of virtual reality enthusiasts. He called his sixth-generation unit the Oculus Rift, which was intended to be sold as a do-it-yourself kit on Kickstarter to fellow enthusiasts. He launched Oculus VR in April 2012 to facilitate the official launch of the Kickstarter campaign. On March 25, 2014, in a Tuesday afternoon shocker, Facebook announced it is buying hot virtual reality gaming company Oculus VR for $2 billion. That includes $400 million in cash and 23.1 million shares of Facebook stock. There's also an additional $300 million potential earn-out in cash and stock based on the achievement of certain milestones. The first known NFT, Quantum, was created by Kevin McCoy and Anil Dash in May 2014. It consists of a video clip made by McCoy's wife, Jennifer. McCoy registered the video on the Namecoin blockchain and sold it to Dash for $4, during a live presentation for the 7-on-7 conferences at the New Museum in New York City. McCoy and Dash referred to the technology as monetized graphics. This explicitly linked a non-fungible, tradable blockchain marker to a work of art, via on-chain metadata, enabled by Namecoin. This is in contrast to the multi-unit, fungible, metadata-less, colored coins, of other blockchains and counterparty. Ethereum was conceived in 2013 by programmer Vitalik Buterin. Additional founders of Ethereum included Gavin Wood, Charles Hoskinson, Anthony Di Iorio and Joseph Lubin. In 2014, development work began and was crowdfunded, and the network went live on 30 July 2015. Ethereum is a decentralized, open-source blockchain with smart contract functionality. Ether, abbreviation ETH, is the native cryptocurrency of the platform. Among cryptocurrencies, Ether is second only to Bitcoin in market capitalization. The DAO, whose logo featured a capital letter D, was a digital decentralized autonomous organization and a form of investor-directed venture capital fund. After launching in April 2016 via a token sale, it became one of the largest crowdfunding campaigns in history. The DAO had an objective to provide a new decentralized business model for organizing both commercial and non-profit enterprises. It was instantiated on the Ethereum blockchain and had no conventional management structure or board of directors. The code of the DAO is open source. Pokémon Go is a 2016 augmented reality mobile game, part of the Pokémon franchise, developed and published by Niantic in collaboration with Nintendo and the Pokémon Company for iOS and Android devices. It uses mobile devices with GPS to locate, capture, train, and battle virtual creatures, called Pokémon, which appear as if they are in the player's real-world location. The game is free to play. It uses a freemium business model combined with local advertising and supports in-app purchases for additional in-game items. The game launched with around 150 species of Pokémon, which had increased to around 700 by 2021. Axie Infinity is a non-fungible token-based online video game developed by Vietnamese studio Sky Mavis, known for its in-game economy which uses Ethereum-based cryptocurrencies. Axie Infinity is built on the Ronin network, an Ethereum-linked sidechain developed by Sky Mavis. The game's official cryptocurrency is Axie Infinity Shards, token, or AXS for short. The game's secondary token, SLP, crashed in February 2022 amid a wider NFT and cryptocurrency crash, losing over 99% of its peak value. Save the World and Battle Royale were released in 2017 as early access titles, while Creative was released on December 6, 2018. While the Save the World and Creative versions have been successful for Epic Games, Fortnite Battle Royale in particular became an overwhelming success and a cultural phenomenon, drawing more than 125 million players in less than a year, earning hundreds of millions of dollars per month. Fortnite as a whole generated $9 billion in gross revenue up until December 2019. Facebook becomes Meta. Historical rebranding. On 28 October 2021, when Mark Zuckerberg announced to the press, Facebook becomes Meta. The idea behind the rebranding was Facebook CEO's promise to turn the company into a metaverse-focused business. Meta builds technologies that help people connect, find communities, and grow businesses. Microsoft Mesh is a collaboration and communications platform developed by Microsoft. Engadget described it as the company's ambitious new attempt at unifying holographic virtual collaboration across multiple devices, be they VR headsets, AR, like HoloLens, laptops, or smartphones. It makes use of elements of the AltSpace VR platform Microsoft acquired in 2017. Microsoft HoloLens is an augmented reality, AR, mixed reality, MR, headset developed and manufactured by Microsoft. HoloLens runs the Windows Mixed Reality platform under the Windows 10 operating system. Some of the positional tracking technology used in HoloLens can trace its lineage to the Microsoft Kinect, an accessory for Microsoft's Xbox game console that was introduced in 2010. AltSpace VR is a social VR platform that was founded in 2013 by Eric Romo and launched its initial product in May 2015. In 2017 it was acquired by Microsoft and is now part of the Mixed Reality division, alongside notable products like HoloLens and HoloLens 2, within the Cloud and AI group. Some elements of the platform appear in Microsoft Mesh. Powering the industrial metaverse together. Connecting Siemens Accelerator and NVIDIA Omniverse will usher in a new era of industrial automation, enabling industrial companies of all sizes to build closed-loop, truly real-time, full design fidelity immersive digital twins.